If you're giving me guys to take for 10 years, the first thing I look at is durability is the most important part of availability is staying in the games. And Deshaun runs around. He's been hurt. But I think in my lifetime, there have been quarterbacks that are easy to spot early. Dan Marino, well, he inherited Don Shula, organizational structure. John Elway, Aaron Rodgers, he inherits an offense. Brett Favre, they have pieces, organizational structure. Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre. There's these guys very easy to spot, and they usually have big arms or they win. They've got weapons. They inherit those, and so they're on the highlights and shows like this talk about them. And there's guys that come into the league and they're harder to get your hands around. Is that unathletic guy for New England really that good? Well, he's got Belichick. I swear for 8 years he was winning Super Bowls, and it was, well, he's a system quarterback. Russell Wilson. He's 5'11 and a half. I mean, his college coach basically said, we don't want to start you. It's all Marshawn Lynch. It's the Legion of Doom. And then you wake up one day and all those pieces are gone, and you're like, nah, it's Russell Wilson. He always wins those close games. And then there's Deshaun Watson, who's not a big arm guy. He's got a good arm, not a great arm. Who is, he's not huge, doesn't have a cannon. Frankly, he's not that flashy. He's not an elegant thrower. Now, he'll run around and make plays, but a lot of what he does is get rid of the ball quickly, make the obvious throws. About twice a game, he's ridiculous and magic, maybe 3 times. So it's harder to get your arms around a young Brady and a young Russell Wilson and a young Deshaun Watson. They're not Favre. Huge arm, Big Ben, massive size, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes. But this morning, who wins more in this league than Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes the last 3 years? The answer is nobody. Nobody wins more. So just because it takes a little time, you have to have a little more discretion. You have to consider everything. When I watch these two play, now I think Kansas City's going to be fine. They're all beat up. Kansas City's going to be, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be a first ballot HOF. Don't worry about that. And by the way, Houston's going to win their division. They're not going to win the rest of theirs, but they're going to win their division, and they're going to be fine too, especially if they can get, a general manager. But in the end, the homework assignment was, are we sure this one's here and this one's here? And my takeaway is, this is what they are. If they played 10 times, it's 5-5. Mahomes, bigger arm, no question. Deshaun Watson, to me, better athlete. And now Deshaun finally has a reasonable offensive line, finally has the semblance on most Sundays of a running game. Now he's not having to overcome stuff like Mahomes has never had to until now, overcoming injuries. And guess what? It's a lot harder for Patrick than it was here at this time, and it's a lot easier for Deshaun than it was 4 weeks ago. So I think when you look at the weapons and you look at the running game and you look at the O-lines, it's a coin flip. It is a coin flip. Deshaun's always been underrated. Patrick hasn't been overrated. He was just easier to spot. Joy with the news.
No.
Heard on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Your boy is back, Colin. Sam Darnold was back in the Jets lineup on Sunday against the Cowboys after missing 3 games with mono. And after the game, Darnold talked about being back on the field.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like myself out there, especially after the first play to DT. That pass I made to DT, I knew we were going to have a good game offensively. I took a couple shots, but it didn't affect me at all. And the pads worked great, super light, but also, protected me well. So it was good out there.